Summoners, my name is Tia, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. Today, we're going over 5 of our Challenger coaches' picks for the strongest early game champions in League of Legends. So hit that sub button, remember to take Ignite and always Ignite and only Ignite, and let's get into it. Starting us off, we've got the Noxian King of early game power, Darius. Darius is infamous for his powerful level 1 cheese, and if he catches you in a bush, you better run and burn your flash or your team will be quickly hearing the first blood announcement. That being said, his power is not limited to a cheese strategy early in the game. Overall, Darius' ability to pick powerful fights with his combos allows him to push for a lot of kills early on. One misstep versus this champion and you'll quickly get pulled, slowed, and when you think you're going to salvage the trade, he'll heal the damage and leave you bleeding for a good chunk of physical damage. All in all, Darius will reign supreme as the king of the early game in the top lane, and if he starts snowballing, I sure hope your team has a lot of range. Before we continue on with Darius' build, we can't forget everyone's favorite ProGuides tradition. For our question of the day, what is one champion that you wish could have their power switched? I personally wish that they could turn Vayne into an early game champion instead of a late game one because I'm a support main and I am so sick and tired of people first picking Vayne. She's not strong right now, guys. Just don't pick Vayne. But anyway, enough of me venting. Let me know your answer in the comments section down below. Nonetheless, let's break down what the Hand of Noxus will be building in most of his games. For your summoners, you'll be taking Flash and Ghost into almost every lane with the choice of TP if you really want it. That being said, most of your pressure will be made from early game dominance, so don't worry too much about teleport. As for your runes, you'll be going Conqueror, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, Nimbus Cloak, and Celerity. These runes will give you some nice power and anti-kite potential as you transition into the mid-game. You'll be starting the game with a health potion and your choice of a Doran's Shield or a Doran's Blade. And to poke heavy matchups, be sure to take the latter. For the rest of your items, you'll be looking to pick up a Stride Breaker, defensive boots of your choice, Sterax, Deadman's, Spirit Visage, and for your situational items, feel free to pick up a Gargoyles for additional survivability, a Thornmail for anti-heal, or a Death Stance for some additional early game power when you don't feel like you need to be tanky. Be sure to get used to your Stride Breaker and E-combo. This provides Darius with a massive amount of range and it covers up some of his biggest weaknesses in the mid-game. Up next, we've got the cantankerous cavalier himself, Kled. Kled has always been quite an interesting champion. His unique ability to have 2 health bars, a combination of Sivir and Cyan ult, as well as a really strong early game, make him a force to be reckoned with. Sure, Kled may not be able to hold his own versus someone like Darius, but overall, he's able to punish his enemies with ease as he dives onto them with his E and throws his Q midair. Before you know it, he's already landed all 3 of his empowered W attacks and dashed right back through you before you even got the chance to trade back. Alongside this great trading and engage combo, Kled's multiple health bars mean that he can go for plays that other champions would find too risky. Whether it's diving the enemy under their turret or simply forcing them to kill you twice, Kled is a champion that should never be underestimated. Kled has quite a versatile build path depending on what his goal is for the game. We'll be going over 2 of the best Kled builds for these playstyles. For your summoner spells, you'll be taking the infamous top lane duo of Flash and Teleport. In cases where you feel you need to heavily snowball the matchup, feel free to pick up Ignite here instead. As for your runes, be sure to pick up Conquer, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, Demolish, and then your choice of Bone Plating or Second Wind, depending on if you're versus a ranged champion or not. For both builds, you'll be starting the game with Potion and your choice of a Doran's Blade or Shield. As for the first build, it's best if your team needs a powerful frontliner and you don't need to snowball top lane hard. You'll be looking to build Sunfire Aegis, your choice of defensive boots, Sterax, Gargoyles, Titanic Hydra, and Spirit Visage for extra magic resist, or Thornmail if you need anti-heal. This build will make sure that you can engage on the enemy without worrying that you'll be bursted too quickly. With a combination of your passive alongside these powerful items, you'll be able to frontline for your team while also dishing out a decent amount of damage. Now, if you need to be one of your team's damage dealers, that's where the second build comes in. For this, you'll be looking to build a Gore Drinker, your choice of defensive boots, Titanic Hydra, Sterax, Death Stance, and finish off with either a Gargoyle Stoneplate for additional survivability or a Thornmail for some anti-heal. This build is similar to the first one, but the build order and mythic item make a massive difference in your gameplay, as you'll be doing extra damage and lifesteal even though you'll have less tank stats. Feel free to try out both to see which one you like better. Pulling enemies into her web and inflicting high amounts of damage. That's right, summoners. Up next, we've got Elise. Elise is one of the few transforming champions in the game. Her ability to have an ultimate pre-level 6 means that she's able to take on extremely fast and healthy clear times alongside some great assassinations in the early game. Her kit as a whole flows with one high burst combo where you throw your cocoon, send out a spiderling, then Q in human form and quickly transform into a spider where you sink your fangs into the enemy. Her high damage and execute ability make her extremely powerful for abusing weak enemies early on. And if harassing the enemy jungler isn't your cup of tea, there are always 3 other laners you can choose instead. Of course, we can't mention Elise without bringing up her insane repel ability. For those of you who don't know, Elise can E in spider form to send herself up into the air, making herself untargetable. This means that she's a prime candidate for tower dives since she can start tanking and then disengage in the blink of an eye. Overall, this 8-limbed assassin is one that can run games before they even truly begin. For your summoner spells, you'll be taking Flash and Smite every game. As for your runes, be sure to pick up Electrocute, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Nimbus Cloak, and Water Walking. This will ensure that you can burst the enemy in one rotation early in the game, let alone if you start snowballing. To start off the game, you'll be picking up a refillable potion with the Hail Blade. As for the rest of your items, you're looking to empower your early game, so be sure to pick up Sorcerer Boots and a Night Harvester as soon as possible so that you can assassinate your enemy every time. Afterwards, be sure to pick up Azania's, then a Morellonomicon, a Void Staff, and top it off with a Banshee's Veil. Feel free to pick up Banshees earlier instead of Morello's if you feel you need the ability shield. Keep in mind, your items and runes are all built around providing you with a strong early game because it's your most vital point in the game. Be sure to practice pushing your lead so you don't end up falling behind, as Elise isn't well known for her scaling ability. That being said, your pick potential can be game-changing, so keep your eyes peeled for vulnerable enemies. Just a reminder for our ProGuides family, if you enjoy OP lists like this, don't forget that we're still doing a ProGuides subscription discount. You can use the discount code RANKUP2021 to get 20% off your next subscription. If you've never used ProGuides before and are serious about climbing this season, head over to ProGuides.com and enter the code so you can claim your sweet deal and gain access to exclusive guides, courses, and even coaching. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to reach your dream rank. Anyway, let's jump right back into the video. Up next, we've got everyone's favorite baker. I mean warrior. Totally meant warrior. Pantheon. Pantheon made a name for himself thanks to Beryl at last year's world stage by showing the true potential and carryability of this champion as a support. With this immense amount of attention and stardom, Riot finally caved into their past promises and ended up sending out a few changes to switch Pantheon from a dominant support to a powerful solo laner. These changes were a success and, well, Pantheon can be played in mid, support, and top. Although he tends to perform the best in the mid lane, while also being a strong top lane counter. Pantheon is able to carry his early game due to raw power, as he's able to constantly threaten his laner with kill potential. He can take powerful trades since his kit gives him a get out of jail free card with his E. This means he can jump onto the enemy with his W, throw out an auto, quickly stab out his Q, and then retreat with his E to avoid damage. Once he picks up some additional gold from ideally killing his laner, this aspect of Targon will be sure to make his presence known in all of his lanes with his semi-global ultimate. Overall, he's pretty much Twisted Fate with a powerful early game. While he's still a melee champion, once you learn how to take strong trades, he can single-handedly lead your team to victory. For your summoner spells, you'll be taking Flash and Ignite most games since you're going to be looking to rack up kills early on. Feel free to take Teleport if absolutely necessary, but overall, Ignite is a powerful tool that can feel comfortable in almost every game. As for your runes, you'll be taking Conqueror, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Coup de Grace, Biscuits, and Time Warp Tonic. These runes will make sure your powerful trading combos leave you looking healthy and the enemy damaged. Since you'll be taking Time Warp Tonic, be sure to start off the game with a Corrupting Potion. The synergy between these two is extremely powerful, as you'll be able to take trades more often and even clutch a few fights with the instant heal. Plus, it's the closest thing to a mana potion in League, which means you'll be able to deal even more damage with your Qs. For the rest of your items, you'll be building an Eclipse, your choice of defensive boots, Black Cleaver, Sterix, Guardian Angel, and either a Chempunk Chainsword for additional anti-heal or a Serpent's Fang for some anti-shield ability. As usual, if you're looking to pick up anti-heal, be sure to grab an Executioner's Calling early in the game. Last but not least, we've got one of the few playable Yordles in League, Tristana. Iconically known for being the inspiration for the name of Rumble's mech, This champion has recently made her presence known in both the mid and bot lane due to the sheer amount of early game power she has. Tristana is able to look for kills the minute she hits level 2, as her W and E combo make it extremely difficult for anyone to escape alive, and if they do, they better hope she didn't get the reset on her W. Her natural ability to push waves means that she's always able to rotate for objectives and tends to have high lane priority. If the enemy ever dares to disrespect her, she's easily able to jump on them and look for the kill. The best part is, once she starts snowballing, she's also single-handedly one of the strongest scaling champions in the game. Overall, she's a well-rounded character who can feel a bit like a feast or famine champion at first, but once you get used to her, she's able to run the early game and threaten every misstep her enemy makes. For your summoners, you'll be taking Flash and Heal if you're going bot lane. If you're going mid, feel free to take Flash and Ignite, but keep in mind that Heal is always a good summoner to take mid as well. As for your runes, you'll be taking Hail of Blades, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, Triumph, and Legend Alacrity. These runes are what give Tristana a ton of early game power, since Hail of Blades will let her get an extremely fast stack on her explosive charge, even in the early game. This means you don't have to wait till level 3 to go in, since you won't need Q for a majority of your damage. To start off the game, you'll be going a health potion with a Doran's Blade. As for the rest of your items, be sure to pick up Kraken Slayer, Berserker's Greaves, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Lord Dominic's Regards, and then finish off your build with either Immortal Reminder for some anti-heal or Guardian Angel for additional survivability. Winning the early game doesn't guarantee you'll win the game, but if you like to carry with the gold lead, then these are some of the best champs to try out. If you learned anything today, remember to leave a like and sub to the channel, and also join our community Discord through the link in the description below. I'm gonna be there and I'll say hello. But that's it for the video, so best of luck in your games, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.